these nuts. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
There's an apple in that.
We do need to stock up in here. I know we talked about coffee, but we need to put snacks in here, like
Okay, no. Wait.
We had snacks.
Okay. We're going to have to lock the door.
I agree, but we used to have the bad clubs.
I know.
Bad Mom's Club. That,
yeah.
They
definitely don't have that
We
anymore.
don't have any of that.
Well, that just remember shit, didn't it?
What happened to the Bad Moms Club?
What do you think?
Disappointed.
What do you think when you got a bunch of bad moms together? Yeah. I could go through it, but it'd be super offensive.
So offensive.
And Jeff's like right here, so.
Well, I mean.
Would you say that they got? Okay, that's a better way to put it. Would you say they got battered or better?
Less bad. Less bad. Not bad anymore.
Definition
of bad. We had
bad in the other way.
They started out strong.
Like bad.
They stocked the upstairs room with food.
You think maybe they came out a little too hot?
I think so. I think they couldn't keep up with the commitment.
They can't keep up with us. They can't run with us.
Yeah, we are the original.
We're a lot.
Come on, let's say it. Let's put them out.
All of them. No, I don't think we want to.
Well, obviously Stephanie.
Yeah, it was Stephanie, Amanda, Hannah, and
oh, you know. Don't play dumb.
Why is that grin on your face like that,
I
Jeff?
don't know. It was a grin.
So weird, little like
Hannah, Amanda, Stephanie, and Allie. That's who it was.
He had that Bill Cosby grin on his face.
The one that didn't get drugged.
Yeah, Jeff. Full Bill Cosby.
She ghosted, Jeff. You know this. She ghosted. She went away.
I don't know where she went.
Yeah. No, nobody does. That's the thing. That's what ghosted means.
Out there lurking.
She got headbutted by a pit bull.
Yeah. The old. She was detected.
Yeah.
Kira, which one? which dog is that?
It's Alaska.
Alaska.
Yeah, the pit bull.
Yeah. The old hoe detecting pit bull. Got the Hodard. Got Hodard.
Yeah, you know what? If you got fuck, Jeff. If it's if you got a certain amount of women in a group, how many? All right, like out of 10 women that are in a group, how many's fuck?
I go.
Should we not go down this road, baby?
I go 70%.
70%. Jesus, that's probably pretty accurate.
This episode is already exponentially better.
And all you've had is coffee.
That's true. Oh God. Yeah.
Well, you started off the last episode playing chess in the middle of podcasting.
Well, y'all lost me when y'all get into that really deep technical jiu-jitsu talk, and I'm just over here like, I don't know what you're
I don't think we were very technical with it. I think we were just talking about jiu-jitsu, and you're like, I'm out. Peace.
I wasn't
Play
out.
chess.
I was getting my ass kicked in chess.
Okay, yeah, you weren't doing either thing well.
Yeah, I mean,
You weren't podcasting well. You weren't playing chess well. You weren't responding on your phone
I
well.
don't even know how to play chess. I just know what position the things move. I don't know any strategy.
We talked about that.
I know. I don't. I need to do some research because I don't want to do it.
We'll just play. It's kind of like jiu-jitsu. Just show up and play.
Doesn't do that either.
Well, it's been hectic. I'm coming back.
Locked in. He's
You and Squint.
He's Squint. Locked in. Yeah.
That's cool though. Back to shit I went now.
So anyway, they used to stock the original room.
Yeah.
The old studio.
Yeah, the one he took over.
Studio A.
Studio
A. But we had, we had like this big Tupperware. What about that big Tupperware thing we had?
Studio A.
Studio A.
And we had all kinds of snacks in it, man. Beef jerky.
You really miss the snacks, huh?
He is a snacker.
I'm hungry.
You don't get snacks anymore, do you, buddy? You don't get little
Soup.
Why are you eating soup?
So the other night,
Jeff, why are you eating soup?
it was a pork, and I had to eat a can of
You pulled up in a
potato soup.
Chevy 2500 HD.
That thing's 7 years old. It's got dents.
That's the whitest shit I've ever heard.
You want to get on a steak?
I would love one, but I mean, is there places that like donate them?
I'll buy you a steak.
No, man.
He'll buy it for you.
You can't do that. Listen, potato soup's good with like some club wafer crackers.
What are you, Irish?
No, I'm
Are you
just
fucking potatoes?
What are you, a fag?
What are you, a hottie?
pork.
Are you on a...
Kids are eating good though.
Yeah. They're gaining weight. Huh?
They're doing great.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm not. I want to, but I'm not going to.
Well, now you got to.
Now you
Well, I mean, then why are you talking about it if you were going to do it?
Just text it.
TJ will say it if you'll say it.
Group texting right now.
yeah, if you text it to the group, somebody's gonna say it.
100%.
Yeah, they will.
No, it's
You remember when we were on the boat and we were like, all right, who's going to say Pedro Dr. Faggot? And then Jeff.
That's so good. What's funny is those guys started laughing too.
Dude, let's recap on one of the funniest fucking things to me, looking back, not at the time, was when we were trying to get the boat out of the water during the fucking weigh-ins of that fishing trip.
Yeah.
Or that tournament that was going on.
Right.
And I went and hopped in Dave's truck and I fucking jumped like 30 people in line to get the trailer.
Oh,
on the
it
ramp.
was some shady stuff.
And I was like, I just pissed every fucking body off.
Well,
so I get the trailer in the water and turn around, and Dave's stuck on a fucking oyster bar. 20 goddamn feet from the ramp.
Yeah,
And
just
I'm like, oh
sitting
my
there.
God.
Everybody looking at us like the clock is literally ticking down to the weigh-in
They're
deadline.
blowing up my phone, honking the horn. I'm like, yeah, I know. We simply cannot move.
Oh, yeah, you were with me.
Yeah, it was me and you, and then Kyle was out on the
fucking
boat.
oyster bar 20 feet, and that's all these trailers trying to get in.
Everybody looking at
Dave's
us.
just floating along, and all of a sudden you're or nothing but the prop is just fucking peeling off the oyster board.
TJ hops in. TJ can drive a truck and trailer, straight up drive a truck and trailer. He hops in Dave's truck, whips it around, and like there's these about like 4 little blocks come together, like little city blocks that come together right at the boat ramp, and he somehow sees like this through the matrix way to go, okay, if I go up and over and down and then swoop back in, I can jump in line right there. And did it. And the guy, everything just aligned. The guy pulling out like blocks this guy. Have you guys ever seen, what was that Magic movie?
Magic Mike?
No. No. Now You See Me. Now You See Me. Where they do a bunch of magic. There's Now You See Me 2 is actually coming out here later this year, but they do this big heist, like Ocean's 13 heist, but it's all based off of magic. And there's one clip where they pass the card around through like all this security stuff.
Yeah.
Right, that's what TJ did, but with a truck and a trailer. Like everything just aligned, and he just swooped back down that boat ramp, and we're like, yeah, we got it, let's go. And we both turn around to look for Dave. And he's like, he's not there. I was like, where's he at?
Is this when I was still sitting in the room?
Yes.
Yeah.
You might have been at the store.
I saw the guy that was next in line to the ramp. And I told Mark, I said, I'm going to give this dude 5 fucking seconds.
Yep. He did.
I
and
may
it's
have
like,
rushed that 5 seconds.
You definitely
it's
got
like
like 5 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I wasn't even up there, and I know you didn't. You were like, and he's not going.
Here we go. Hey, whipping our ass. I know that. They might be mad.
Yeah. And then I look, and I was like, why are they all the way out there right now?
Yeah,
He's like, I don't know. So we're trying to like call, and then they're not. I was like, Kyle's not answering. I was like, well, I'm looking at them. I don't know what they're doing.
Matter of fact, I would like, I didn't look at Dave's propeller after that, but I would like to.
I think it was okay.
He
Did he really tink
the
it?
fuck up. I mean, it was like all the way to a stop. Like didn't force it to stop. Like he cut it off, but it did not sound good. It sounded like gravel and shells.
Yeah, we're just
That's the
standing
only downside of that area. It is so shallow.
It's got a lot of bad spots for sure. It's worse than Caravel. Got a lot of lows.
Yeah. A lot of oyster bars.
Sometimes you got to troll out, guys.
Take your time.
In deeper water.
Boss.
Got to go through the shallow water and get in deeper water.
Gotta get in the mud, get in the weeds a bit, you know? Hit a fucking oyster bar. Yes.
Red snapper.
Jeff, I'm trying not to turn the sad music back on again.
I was waiting on it.
I'm trying not to. I'm like,
I was trying to give you an alley oop there, but I said, it's kind of like life.
I'm trying. I'm resisting.
It wasn't me. I mean, it was him.
No, I don't know. I'm just telling you. I'm trying not to do it.
Yeah. But did get us out of there.
Yeah, definitely.
Got it up. Got the boat up on there. And got the hell on. Yeah.
Speaking of sad.
Oh shit. What you got, really?
Did you guys see the Sweden stuff?
No.
They've made suicide pods legal in Sweden.
The fuck is that?
Legal, like, you go kill yourself here?
Yeah, but
Like Kevorkian?
yeah, but you can do it to yourself.
Dr. Kevorkian?
Okay.
Yeah. Suicide doctor?
Yeah, but you can do it to yourself.
He's
So
assisted, like.
yeah, he
It's
assisted
just his
suicide.
face on a poster outside these pods.
No,
Which is debatable, I think.
What? Suicide?
Assisted suicide.
I think if you're
For
well,
different conditions.
we'll come back to that. 'Cause
Okay.
That's a whole different can of worms.
So if you in your mind imagine like in a sci-fi movie those pods that they put in spaceships when they're going way out like light years away and they go like cryogenic pods, right? So you in your mind you have what that looks like, right? Little angular where one person just sits like lays down.
Escape pod.
Yeah, like 45-degree angle. Okay, in your mind imagine that. That's what these things look like. And you get in it yourself, and in there, you push the button, and it sucks all the oxygen out and fills it back up with like some kind of gas, and it kills you.
It's a safe way to go.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that suck?
you just
depends
pass
on what
out.
depends on
you
what
don't
gas it
feel
is.
You just pass out.
Yeah, you just
That's like when people sit in their garage
And that's what
with
they.
a car running.
they made it legal.
Why are they calling it a podcast?
Not a podcast, a pod. Suicide
Oh.
pod.
Okay. So it's not like they're videoing it to the world.
Oh,
Not
shit.
yet.
Not yet. I mean,
There's a dark web idea.
There's definitely a dark web. Jeff, look, Jeff's getting all excited. Look at him, all weird.
You can add those to your
Suicide
sanitary
podcast.
cleaning business.
Suicide podcast.
Suicide
Think
podcasting.
about that one. That's fucked up.
What if you could choose different ways to go? How would you go? Well, like if you were gonna do it, and you had 4 options, what would the 4 options be?
All right, so you're going to die. So you're going to die anyway. Let's set some parameters here.
Yeah, you're not just doing it on Tuesday because you're bored. Like,
Okay.
This is
I
horrible.
got
Okay.
a couple creative.
I have a
Yes,
very
okay.
creative way.
I agree.
Okay, I want to ask you some clarifying questions, and then I have an answer. Okay. Am I physically fit at this point of death? Like, can I be active? So can I still walk around, move around,
Yes.
use all my limbs?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But I'm going to die at some
Yep.
very specific point soon, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then I wanted you to take me and drop me off in some war zone somewhere and just give me a bunch of guns and let me go to war. And
Fucking Rambo
Kill
style.
Rambo, kill as many people as I can
You
kill.
want to kill
Just
a bunch of people? You
go
die?
out in a blaze of glory. Yeah, enemy stuff. Like
Who defines the enemy?
America.
Oh my God, we've gotten it wrong so many times.
Yeah, but I won't know. I won't be here.
I got a real fucked up friend who used to talk about how he would kill himself, and he had a couple pretty creative ideas. He said that he would.
Did he ever do it?
No.
Okay.
He said that he would super glue his hands to his head like that, and then jump off of something tall with a piano wire wrapped around his neck, so it'd cut it clean off, so people would find him and it would look like he just ripped his whole head.
Wow.
That's awesome.
He also said he'd crawl into a really shallow crawl space under a house, so it would be really fucking inconvenient.
To get him
get him
out.
out.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
I like the piano wire thing though.
That's pretty creative. That's very Halloween.
Yeah, it is very.
All right, but you still got at least 2 more. Let's say 3.
Okay, so
Like
I mean
Warzone?
just war zone me. Yeah, just give me a bunch of guns, give me as much ammo, grenades and stuff, and just let me go and just save 1 grenade for me.
What if you kill everybody? And
I was just like, drop me off. Where else we going, boys? Where else we headed?
I
Yeah,
got 6 months.
Like, never mind, I'll live. I'm good at this.
yeah. Just keep dropping me off, and yeah, wherever.
write a book.
I failed my purpose.
Yeah.
TJ, what would you do? The piano wire thing?
I don't know. Probably a bunch of fucking cocaine.
Ah, gnarly. And just OD?
Just run it till the valves blow out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never tried it.
Yeah.
But I imagine that'd be a ride.
Yeah.
Super crunk.
Yeah. I feel like you'd be, we'd start 500 businesses. As much shit as we throw against the wall.
God, if he just stunk it out, he'd be rich.
Just a little less cocaine. Just one less 8-ball, and he'd have been fine.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that Saturday Night Live clip I sent y'all?
Which one?
I sent it to y'all today about.
I hadn't looked at any of it today.
It was talking about Heroine PM. It was talking about like
Dayquil.
it was like the mom.
Oh, wow.
Saying, like, I try to live a successful life, but sometimes I just want to try heroin. It's like that's why I do Heroine PM. And it's saying like allows me to go through my regular day and still get the. Oh my god!
If I could try one drug like consequence free, it would for sure be heroin.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Anything that you can take that makes you stop breathing, but you don't care.
See, I don't want to be. Yeah, I'd do crack. Yeah, I would do crack. If I could do one consequence free, I'd get fucking hyped on PCP and like crack and LSD. I'd do it all.
Go hop in a good fight.
Yeah. And just go on, like everything would be Grand Theft Auto. Like, yeah.
Kyle would just be walking out of the gym with like a guy's arm in his hand.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm going on.
That's my theory if I went to prison and I wasn't getting out, is I would
Rip an arm off.
I'd take somebody's arm off.
You could absolutely rip somebody.
Just take somebody's arm
I wonder if it works that way. I wonder if like you go in. Do you really think you got to go in and just fucking make a statement?
No, but if it started to come up, depending on where you go, really. I mean, some places.
Can you go in and just not get fucked with? If
Depends on where you go. Depends on where you go. I think 100% it depends on where you go.
You guys seen the Netflix special that's about? I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's in Arkansas, I think, but the local sheriff, he basically goes in and all these guys that are in jail, they're all on like 23-hour lockdown, right? They get out 1 hour a day.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically runs an experiment in this particular block.
Opens it up.
You seen that?
Yeah.
Where he goes in and he says, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to open the doors, all the doors.
Let them govern themselves.
He says we're going to open all the doors. You're going to be in charge of basically governing yourself, setting boundaries, and he's like, if you can't handle it, we're going to shut it back down. But his whole theory is that I'm giving you guys some leeway. I'm giving you some responsibility. Instead of treating you like an animal, I'm going to give you some responsibility that you have to, basically govern within yourself. You have to set rules. You have to set priorities, set boundaries. And it's pretty interesting, and instead of taking a shotgun approach, there were a couple of bad seeds and he jerked them right out. He moved them out. And so, it was pretty interesting. I watched the whole thing. And they said it, and at the end, they said it's still ongoing. The
experiment.
The experiment.
Yeah.
What would you do day one in prison?
I don't know.
Yeah. What's your thought, Jeff? Jeff, right now. So I get you get popped for something where you're going to like prison.
Yeah, like somebody. Yeah, you had to kill somebody and thought it would be just.
I would probably be just. I don't know. I would probably try to be quiet. Mm-hmm. And I know that's not natural for me, but I would just try to stay to myself. I really would. I would just try to be quiet, stay to myself, and just not get in anybody's business, and just kind of stick to myself and just.
I think it just depends on where you end up. Like, you'd have to say, like, what's your move first day, San Quentin?
I don't think I'm going to try to.
Oh, that's totally different.
See what I'm saying?
I don't think I'm going to try to like go in and make allies and all that shit. Like go with the whites or the. I'm just going to be like.
Some places you have to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, depending on where you go, you wouldn't get a choice.
Yeah.
You have to. You'd be with the whites.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess I would just try to be.
Like, even if I didn't agree with it, like,
honestly, I would just try to be like, I would try to stay out of problems. That's what I would.
What if it wasn't up to you? What if the whites came to you and were like, "Hey, you got two choices."
Yeah.
Because this is how it is.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah.
Either you're a bitch, and we protect you from everybody else, or you go stab this person for us.
Depending on what if I were in there for if I knew I wasn't getting out.
Yeah, you're in there for
I'd probably just go stab somebody. Yeah, if I'm not getting out, it doesn't matter. I would have no problem.
I'd probably become a really bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So,
I would just,
Yep.
I'd be a really bad person. I just would. Well, yeah, I'm never. Yeah, I mean, I'm either going to catch another charge, even so, say I had a chance to get out. I'm either going to catch another charge stabbing somebody because you say so, or I'm going to catch another charge because I'm going to rip your fucking arm off and
Because you come at
suffer
me. Yeah.
consequences or whatever. But also, like, you can be an asset to people and play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe I handle a thing for a guy, maybe I don't. Like, maybe, like, you could start to play the game and just kind of see where you land and then start to kind of ride under the radar.
I think I would try to like do the warden's taxes. I would try to do that, and then maybe like start a library.
Financial
That'd be
advice.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, and there's
start writing letters.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of avenues, especially for older guys.
And if anything went to your mouth, you could just threaten to bite it off.
Right.
I think there's a lot of avenues for guys that are not young and like super intimidating. Not that you're not super intimidating, Jeff. Because you can be. You're a blue belt, bro.
See, that's the other thing. A big guy in there.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
it's different. For you could fly under the radar, and I think you could do something like that where you do somebody's taxes, or you help them with their case, where you read something for them, write something for them, because you have that experience.
You just play the combat.
Yeah,
the
like full Matthew Cox type, just financial guy,
You think you would be a target?
Yeah, it'd be one of two things. Like, big guys are either going to be a target or they're going to try to like recruit you.
Yeah,
that's what all the bike clubs do. Like, that is. Somebody's going to try to fuck with you.
So do you think if you went in there and the word got out that, hey, this dude owned a gym, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
Well, he's screwed because he's got cauliflower ear already. Like, already he's done. Yeah. Already.
Probably, yeah. They would recruit me or fuck with me, yeah.
Yeah, one of the two.
So, so if I'm just going to get fucked with anyways, at least I can try to take somebody's arm off.
But don't you think the first guy that you just snap off, that's going to have to give you some street cred?
Yeah, but there's power in numbers, and they're
Oh, if 5 won't do it,
and they know the game.
They'll send 15.
Yeah.
Like, they'll just keep sending as many guys as it takes.
And then they start doing shanks and start stabbing you.
You got years on you. Like, they're going to get you eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I would try to do something. Ideally, and I've thought about this, I would try to do something because I think I can somewhat handle it. Maybe I'll lose my mind. I don't know. Do something to get me put in solitary.
Yes, cover yourself in piss and shit.
That too. Yeah.
That's what people do that.
Well, I mean, can I just like fuck somebody up and get put in there? Do I have to cover myself in piss and shit?
It probably would hurt.
Does it have to be, can it be my shit?
It would probably help.
Could it be like my shit? Like, it doesn't have to be somebody else's shit, right?
No,
I don't think it has to be. I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters. I don't think we're gonna
It's
test
just
it.
the fact that it's piss and
It's
shit.
just
If they want to be like, oh, this is his.
They don't want to rape that guy.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, if I could avoid the whole rape thing, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be real hard for me to accept.
I would. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed if I got raped, dude.
Man. I was so trying to go through this thing.
I would be so mad.
I would. I wouldn't write anybody letters anymore.
Yeah.
But y'all heard from TJ? But no.
He got it.
P.S. I got raped.
Not gonna be hearing from me no more. Did you see yet that they're opening up Alcatraz again?
I did. It's kind of weird, huh?
For what?
For a prison again.
They say, but it's so fucking run down. What are they going to do with it?
I know.
Well, they do tours there now.
Yeah.
So
No, they're talking about opening up for...
It's a national... It's a park right now.
I know.
It's like
so are they going to close the park down?
Yes. And open it back up as a prison.
Yeah, it seems like a big waste of money.
Hey,
it does.
Conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Have you ever noticed that schools are set up exactly like prisons? Pods, hallways, guard towers.
Just
they could easily be
turn schools into prisons.
Yeah, there's one like that about
like overnight.
Walmart and FEMA. Really, like Walmart's could be used as like a FEMA hub kind of deal if they needed to.
Yeah, you're right about that though. T. Thinking about it, because most of them have like a center section.
Yep.
And halls that run down off of it and all converge into one area.
Also, the towers out front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if all you got to do is fence it and throw a couple more towers up on the outskirts of it.
Straight up prison.
Yeah.
And look at every movie, like both the Red Dawns. They use high schools.
Yeah.
When they do like their little refugee camps.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence?
I don't know.
Probably not. That's probably.
I mean, industrial building. I mean, it's all federal built industrial stuff.
A
lot of the ones in Atlanta have built-in criminals already.
It's not just
Just in Atlanta.
It's not just Atlanta.
What do you say to people who say that everybody's equal?
I don't think everybody's equal.
You don't think so?
Equal in what sense?
At birth.
Equal as an opportunity.
Equal at birth.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're equal as in the sense of you have the same opportunities. But I mean, I don't think everybody's equal because I mean,
You don't think some people have a starting line ahead? of others?
absolutely. I mean, my dad used to say there's the Kennedys and then there's the Cams.
Right.
I mean, so yeah, there's definitely a difference in socioeconomic, you know, where you're born and all that, but equal as in like in the eyes of God, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that people are equal.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a difference in when you're trying to determine if somebody's equal or not. You got to look at the tools in which you're using to measure it, right? So, what is your idea of equal? What are you measuring it with? Are you measuring it with
Are
money?
you asking me? He's asking me the question.
I'm just saying. I'm just looking at you.
My bad.
But I'm saying
That's what he was doing to me earlier. It's that weird eye contact thing.
if you're measuring equality based on, are you using, is your ruler money? Is it status? Is it what are you using to measure equality?
You're just like a human being.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
what would you use to measure equality?
I think that if I'm being honest, if you really got to look at it, I think you got to look at it the way God would look at it.
Like a human being.
Yeah.
Which God?
My God. But if you don't believe in that, then that's, I understand. But that's the way I view it. So I think that people aren't born equal, but I think the problem is through the American Western cultured lens, we view equality, or it's all over the TV. You know, everybody.
Well, they devalue the word.
Sure, and I mean, just because you are filthy rich or you're born into a high status family with all the, you know, doesn't mean you're better off. It doesn't mean, Mark's talked about some of the people that, he grew up with in Appalachia. You know, some of these, might have been the poorest people around, but, they had heart of gold. They were some of the best people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So are they worse off? Or eternally, it's, you know what I'm getting at. I think that, I'm not trying to complicate it, but I think you got to look at what's your idea of what are you measuring equality with?
Yeah.
What are you measuring equality
I
with?
don't know.
Fuck yeah.
Everybody's version of success is different.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah, some people may be really happy with what other people would consider a really poor situation.
I mean, our
But it's
forefathers,
maybe light years away from what they were dealing with.
our forefathers wrote, all men are created equal. But did they really mean that? Did Thomas Jefferson really believe that his slaves were equal?
The ones in the house, I think.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, again, what are you using to measure equality? Are you saying that if you're saying that everybody has the right to eternal life through salvation, right? Eternal life through Jesus or whatnot, then you might say, yeah, everybody's equal in that sense. But if are you created equal in the sense of opportunity for success based on monetary gain or based on your career path or based on health care? No, everybody's not equal.
Well, so I do think, though, that there's enough examples throughout history of people that have came from absolutely nothing to extreme success that you can say that there is an avenue for everyone to be successful to the utmost of whatever anyone would consider success. But a lot of it is dependent upon environment and family and culture and what you do with the opportunities
Absolutely.
that you get.
An individual want to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can give people the same.
Seeking those opportunities.
Yeah,
you can
and
give
seeking
somebody
out
the
those.
same equal opportunity doesn't mean they're going to take advantage of it.
100%. So I think that equality is something that that you're right, Jeff, that it does depend a lot on how you evaluate it. I think as a human being, I think there should be an equality that where everyone should have access to the same avenues of success as everyone else. And I think in the United States, as much as anywhere, I think that exists right now. I think that if you want to go to school, if you want to gain knowledge of whatever you want to do and you want to be successful, I think you can be successful. No matter where you come from, no matter how poor your parents are, no matter what situation you are, but you gotta want it. And I think there's a lot of roadblocks for those people that come up that start out worse. There's a lot of roadblocks that would try to prevent them from getting there. It's not easy.
Well, it becomes a numbers game at some point. It's just it's going to be a lot less likely.
Yes,
and it's in volume that more people are going to be unsuccessful or go down the wrong path.
Because not everything is of their control, and that's the other thing about it too. Is if I'm a young African American male in a very urban environment, and I'm doing everything right. Okay, I'm doing everything right. I go to school. I treat people right. I don't do drugs. I don't gang bang. I don't do anything. I don't break the law because of my.
I don't jaywalk.
Right.
I don't cheat on my taxes.
Yeah, because I do.
Let's take it easy on the taxes.
Well, because I
don't shoplift. I was just trying to think of some more white crimes.
Yeah. No. Well, no. I'm pointing out those crimes for a reason.
No, I know.
In that environment, he doesn't fall into any of those traps because of his environment. He still is more likely to get shot than what I am as a white guy. So in that way, we're not equal at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, you take that same individual and put him in southern Mississippi.
Absolutely.
And I don't give a shit how many businesses he starts or how
it's
many.
Going to be tough.
You stay in that environment.
Yep, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, and you're probably going to get less opportunities.
Yep.
You don't have family to help you.
Absolutely.
Somebody's going to have to help you at some point
to get your come up. You're going to have to, and that's
the same reason. Like if a white Christian male goes to a dominantly Muslim country,
it's going to be the same way.
Give you less opportunities.
You're going to struggle, and that's why I think generational increase is so important. That you as a parent try to set your children up for success in ways that you weren't really set up, so that they can go beyond what you are. Mm-hmm. And that should be everyone's goal, right? No matter where you start, you're trying to set that next generation up for more success than what you have. And if
freaking balance,
it's tough. No, it's hard.
You got to give them the hard stuff too.
Yeah, they got to learn the hard lessons.
Yeah.
But and it is a balancing act. You still have to correct them. You can't just let them go on easy street, or then they don't appreciate anything. Like it's not easy.
Right.
But that should be the goal. And I think if you continue to do that for generations, then you can set yourself up and your family up and your great grandkids up to have a much better shot, regardless of where you are.
Yeah, I think Jeff's right. Like it's as far as the argument for equality for all, like it's such a loaded, thing that there's just, it's so subjective, like what are you measuring it with? Like, at what degree for this person that's in a third world country, a war-ridden country,
that's right.
Anything's going to be better, right? But also, like you're saying, like as a human being, as like social status, male, female, like,
I think the idea, and I'm fresh off of a trip to Washington, D.C., where we went to the Archives building and we were studying and looking at the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And, you're immersed in all this, history. And I think that our forefathers had they had great intentions. And I think what they wrote was, you got to realize that the majority of these guys were in their 30s, at the time of writing this. Thomas Jefferson, I think, was 33 years old.
But probably that's equivalent to like the maturity of a 50-year-old today.
Sure, absolutely. But my point is that they, limited in their worldly experience. They only knew what they knew at the time. right? But they knew enough to write things like, the pursuit of happiness and all talking about the rights and unalienable rights of people. And I understand what they're saying, but I also see where people have an issue in the irony of what they were writing. At the same time, Thomas Jefferson had roughly 600 slaves.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he owned like 600 slaves on a 5,000-acre plantation.
And his pursuit to happiness.
Well, but you got to understand though, in his mind at the time, that was the norm.
That's what I'm saying.
He didn't see that as I don't think he viewed it as, I don't think he viewed it as it was something wrong. I mean, I just don't think they didn't view it the way we see it. At the time.
No. It's unpopular to say, but there's a ton of historians that say that.
What do they say?
There's a lot of historians that say that. No, just what you're saying. It's not the picture that is painted today.
Of course, it's not.
No. Well,
in the majority of the slaves. I'm not saying this is right. Fuck, I don't know. I'm an idiot. But the majority of the slaves, they say, like, more or less volunteered.
Well, they weren't like...
Even after they were freed,
well, they were given...
never left.
Well, you got to realize, though, is that it wasn't like, you watch the movies where they want to portray that every slave was tied up to a tree and beaten with a whip. That wasn't the case. A lot of these people were cared for. They were given, they were given a shelter. They were given food, and they were very uneducated, right? So...
And they had a...
Well, by design.
Big lack of opportunity.
I'm not saying it's right.
Well, no,
I'm just saying that it wasn't necessarily the miserable life, I think, for all of them that is portrayed today in history books.
Regardless, during that time, it was worldly acceptable for just a nation to have slaves. So,
well, and here's the thing.
Slavery is nothing.
I was gonna
as
say,
far as humanity goes, it was just rampant for everywhere.
But pop culture in American history books would like for these kids to believe that, slavery started in the South in the United States, and that's just bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been slaves worldwide.
No, slaving in general has been forever. It's just been
had slaves.
the right pirate ship had slaves. Like, it was just a common practice.
It was terrible. You can argue that the majority of Americans today are slaves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
But to say that our people created equal, I think, in the eyes of God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, we just went from a really fun podcast to
Slaves
all
and
serious.
equality.
Yeah.
Change it around.
That's a fun topic.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Well, you got about
We've
6
already,
minutes.
we've already done like OnlyFans and dick pics and all that kind of stuff, haven't we, Mark?
We have, definitely.
Okay.
What about Trump saying the fat shot? Did y'all see that?
No,
Dude.
what is that?
Oh my God, it's funny.
What is that?
Then he calls somebody a fatty?
No, well, he's talking to, he's doing like a press conference. And
Talking
he's
about
talking
pharmaceutical prices.
And he's talking about he said he's got a friend of his, a very successful man. He said he called him. And he said he used to call him, Donald. He said, no, he just calls me president. But he called me and he was complaining and he's like, hey, look, he said he takes the fat, the fat shot. He says this, I come live to you. He's like,
Ozempic or
Yeah.
He's talking about, he said he takes the fat shot and he calls me and he says, hey, President, he said, I just bought this shot over here in London. And he said, I told him, I said, look, it's not working. By the way, that shot's not working. And I mean, he's just hilarious, man. Did y'all? But speaking of Trump, and I just we didn't really talk politics, but what about the week that he had? Did you guys pay attention?
Oh yeah, the week before the trans. No, what's more interesting is the take. Everybody's 100-day take.
Yeah,
and then 1 week later.
But I'm talking about him going to Cater. Is it Cater? Did I say it?
Qatar. Yeah. See, I'm skeptical on that one. I don't like that shit.
Well, but okay. But
I don't like that shit, bro. And don't put him in that plane. PBB said it best. Don't let him in that plane. Do not let him fly in that fucking plane.
All I'm saying is that, and I know
they're gonna blow that shit up.
I know that there's people that are questioning it, but his thing is, and this is the part I do like, is that he's not necessarily In some ways he is, but he's not necessarily getting involved in everybody's personal business and trying to tell people how to live. He's not trying to make every country westernized and saying you need to operate just like America. He's basically saying, I don't give a shit what you do. You run your country the way you want to run it. We just want your money. He's looking at it from a sheerly business
perspective.
And he literally got trillions of dollars dumped into the American economy.
With Qatar, a lot of it's with like military deals, right? Like weaponized deals, right? Qatar, that is right.
Qatar or Qatar, I think.
Qatar. No, is it?
Yeah.
Qatar. Anyways, that place.
It's cute.
It's okay.
It's a Q. It's Qutar. Is it?
There is a place called Qatar.
Oh, well, I'm talking about Qatar. Yeah. I'm not talking about
the one
Qatar.
he was in was Qutar.
No.
How's that? My question is, how does that trillions of dollars trickle down into our lives?
That's a whole other.
Well, if you have a 401k or retirement,
people were pissed about that.
It will increase or decrease it significantly, sometimes overnight, depending on what goes on. That's one really big way that it trickles through, and then that also changes like how expensive and cheap things get. And how housing prices are and how interest rates are. Those are all things that really...
Yeah, that's the same deal. That's the same one I'm talking about. I just want to make sure I want to talk about something different.
Okay.
Yeah, raises arms in Israel, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Israel kind of fucked up with Trump, too.
Yeah.
But...
Look, I saw
back a lot of terrorist organizations, though.
They
fully back Hamas and
I understand
all that.
It's business for them.
So what do you do?
That's all that. And see, okay.
Take a fight with them?
I don't know.
No.
They've got like the most of what do they have?
So listen,
they've got.
You're not going to change their mentality, but if you can get their money, why not?
But isn't that what they do already? Is it just becomes all about money for them?
Yeah, but we're going to prop them up and eventually have to fight them.
He's just stretching.
I thought you were looking at
Just get a stretch in.
He's just stretching. He's all right.
PC.
Yeah, and they've already got all the money.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know. I'm not going to pretend that I know enough about what's going on to.
I just said it made me skeptical. I didn't say I was totally against it.
But I'm just saying that I think that we have had such a closed-minded approach to those countries for years, and just said, okay, push you away, and he's saying. Hey, we may not agree with everything you're doing, but if we can get your money and we can get you to invest, in our economy.
And
It's like ignoring the slavery that builds our cell phones.
Right.
Yeah,
That's true.
Or every women's boutique.
Right.
Because all the clothing that they all get is from slave trade in China.
Right.
So it's
we just want to
to
pick
what
and choose
level
what we want.
do you care?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But see, talking just back to bring it back to Trump a little bit. I saw a headline just this past week, and it just goes to show how the international feelings on Trump is shifting a little bit. Is that he is now looked at as the favorite to win the Nobel Peace Prize?
Absolutely, he got tons.
Oh, if he gets Ukraine,
and they're right now in talks.
And
if he gets that settled, he'll get a Nobel Peace Prize for
Dude,
sure.
he met with the Syrian president.
Yep, and he gets no credit.
That was a standing ovation.
He gets no credit.
No,
here
Saudi
locally.
Arabia.
Well, he got. Well, are you talking about when he went to the United Emirates? That might have been
UAE.
Yeah, where he got the standing ovation.
Oh, they went.
Yeah,
nuts.
that was wild.
They loved
That
it.
was wild.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not saying that like it's way better than what the other administration was doing before because we weren't even having these conversations.
No, he's doing things.
Just like
he's working it. He's actually
just
working
like
it.
with some of the terror stuff. Like he's at least getting these conversations going.
Do you see Kash Patel's actually shutting down the FBI building in Washington D.C.? Yep. Reassigning all the FBI agents to local agencies, getting them out of DC.
What's y'all's take on the whole James Comey and the seashell? Did y'all see that?
All the seashells that he has
That's
posted
3
on his
seashells.
Instagram.
That's how you like your ass.
So James Comey, former FBI
Total Recall.
director,
Almost Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
I was hoping
posted on
I was with you.
Instagram He said, cool seashell formation I found walking on the beach this morning. You didn't see this?
I heard about it, but I didn't read it. So
the seashells are formed, somebody put it on me, and it's 8647.
8647.
8647. 86 meaning to
kill. 47.
47 president. 8647.
Well, how does the 86 mean kill?
It's a law enforcement term. So, like a 1086.
86.
Like
it's murder
yeah,
or kill.
It's like, man, it's like.
I thought it was 187.
63.
187 on an undercover cop.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but anyway, 8647 is all over the news.
Two different
and so
codes.
basically now they're saying that Homeland Security is supposedly going to, investigate him, right?
It was podcast in 3D.
But I don't know.
Reach out, touch.
And you got all these people up in arms and saying, hey, if that was anybody else, if this was just some hillbilly in, Texas, then they would be saying, hey, lock him up for terrorist threat. Because you're basically calling for violence to the president.
Mm-hmm.
They did nothing.
Well, they said they're investigating.
Starting,
but
it's starting.
It'd also be different if there weren't two assassinations.
Well, but you're also talking about a very high public profile figure. I mean, this guy was a former, and he claimed, so Comey claimed that he didn't know that 86 meant a death threat.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, dude, you were the highest
Everyone
ranking
knows
law enforcement
that.
officer. You were the highest ranking law enforcement officer in the nation. He was the director of the FBI.
Yeah, of course they do.
You knew.
Shucks. Is that what that means?
But
Look, okay, so
my take is this.
I don't even get it into Chat GPT or into Google and an American English slang. 86 is a few common meanings primarily related to removing or getting rid of something. I mean, that's the first thing.
But here's the thing. Here's my take on that. I think, in my own uneducated opinion, that, and this, I do have a problem with this, is that this in quote unquote investigation will go absolutely nowhere.
For sure. We still haven't found anything out about the guy that shot at him. Like,
We don't investigate.
Or JFK.
We don't investigate high profile people. We don't hold them accountable. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. It does not happen. Hunter Biden, Hillary Clinton,
Epstein.
It does not happen. They will not. They say they're going to investigate. They threat. I don't care if it's coming from the left side of the aisle or the right side of the aisle. They say they're going to do it.
Because you can't.
That's it.
You can't.
Comey is absolutely protected.
Yeah, you can't.
They'll never prosecute him.
They're the banks that are too big to fail. You can't let them fail, because if you let that top echelon fail, everything crumbles around underneath them. It does.
yeah.
And that's not popular. We don't like to think about it like that.
I mean, those guys would have to shoot somebody in
because
front of a
they're
camera.
all, and I've been down the Epstein rabbit hole a lot over the past 2 weeks. I've listened to a lot of podcasts back and forth between here and Jacksonville over the past few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And Epstein has came up a lot. And I don't remember which great knowledgeable talking head that it was that said it. And it said, listen, and they were talking about was Epstein a spy? Was he a plant? Was he
Right.
you? And he said, listen, if Epstein wasn't a spy, wasn't an asset, there were a bunch of people that weren't doing their job. Point blank, period.
Right.
If he wasn't an asset for someone, there was a bunch of people at almost every international agency. They weren't doing their job if they weren't using Jeffrey Epstein because of what he had, the control and the power and all the people and what he liked. And there were some really interesting discussions even about things like using kids and underage people for sex acts. There were some really interesting discussions about how the intelligence community looks at stuff like that. And it makes you very uncomfortable, but it gives you insight into how they see it. They disconnect from it so much. These guys are going to do it anyway. I'm just here using it to trying to do something good with it. It's weird. It makes you feel dirty, but this is what happens with our government. Our government does it, and every other government in the world does the same thing. Just our government's really good at it. Israel's really good at it. Great Britain's really good at it. there's a few that are, Russia is, used to be better at it than what they are. I think China's probably pretty good at it in their own certain way. Somebody was using Jeffrey Epstein. That's why none of that stuff's going to get released. And Ghislaine Maxwell cut a deal. And what they said about what the predominant feeling about her is that she just must have been smarter about it to protect herself more, to keep enough that she could cut a deal. She gets out in a few years.
There's a lot of people that think Epstein's still alive.
Yeah, well, and if he died, okay, so if he did die, the amount of things that had to go wrong for him to die in custody like that. It's like cameras not working, people not doing that, never doing, and you can justify every one of those things individually,
Right.
but when you put them all together, it really doesn't make, like, the guy either isn't dead or he definitely was offed, and it's just a matter of who did it.
It's like the surveillance being down at the Pentagon on the day of 9/11.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they had the guards were asleep,
The fuck?
and the videos were down.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Strangled himself by the end of the bed.
Are you for
Kind of
I
thing
can see
sat
Epstein
down
paying
and
enough
died.
people off the stage is dead.
lotion? You'll be all right.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Well, I mean, they do it. And
All right.
He's living in a. He's
That's
living
power.
in a-
When you
Be
have
safe.
all the chess,
I will. Love you.
all the pieces moved on the chessboard, right? It can be blatant.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't give a fuck
And
what y'all
he's
say.
living
Like,
somewhere in an island.
yeah, prove me otherwise. Do something about it. When they know you can't, they're gonna make their moves, and that's it.
That's power that we can't wrap our heads
Yeah,
around.
that's what I'm talking about. These guys, and the reason it's easy for us to sit here, even being successful like men like we are, we're not at that level. It's easy for us to sit here and say, you got to hold them accountable. We need to investigate it. We need to play it all out. We're not even to the point where we can comprehend what happens. What's the result of when things like that? What are all the domino pieces that would fall when you start doing stuff like that? And even guys that are really at the top, of a lot of these circles, like a Kash Patel, I think there's levels, just like there's levels to everything. There's levels to that too. He's at the top of the top. He can talk on podcasts before he's in one of these positions and say, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, this, this," and he gets there and he's like, "This is deeper than I thought. This Kennedy stuff is deeper than I thought. We might need to redact more than what I thought we needed to redact."
Yeah, we can't
let this out.
Guys. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
just gonna release a bunch of shit that's already that's out.
So I think that's what happens to all the good guys that say they're going to make all the decisions. The only one that's kind of doing it in his own way is RFK Jr. right now, and fighting against the health and food services thing. And all that joke is trying to do is ban Red 40.
Right.
He's just trying to ban a food dye, and he's getting all this pushback and crazy talk.
Because it opens up all these other doors.
Because it opens up everything.
Yeah.
So imagine, okay, so he's just talking about food dye. That's as serious as this. Now apply that to an assassinated president. How much more serious does it get when you start talking about that as opposed to Red 40 or whatever it is?
Oh yeah.
It changes the game so much.
Yeah.
We can't. I don't think we can comprehend it.
And there
And
probably
it's-
aren't that many layers between the red dye topic and assassinating the president.
No.
Probably
They're all
not.
connected.
Honestly,
They're
probably
all
not.
connected.
They're just a different thing.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yeah, because it's all just
It's
comes
just
to
the difference between
power.
Monday and Saturday.
Yeah.
We do this on Monday.
Yeah, there's. I guarantee there's some interconnected strings between them. I guarantee there is.
Yeah.
So
That's good stuff.
that's my tap out.
Yeah.
Boom.
Peace.
Boom, I'm out.
All right.
Done.
I'm done.
Just like that. Are we just like that? Jeez.
All right. I'm done.
That's it.
We'll tap out.
Tap out with
That
that.
was my tap out.
You hadn't talked for 7.5 minutes. 7 minutes and 42 seconds.
did.
What's your tap out, Jeff?
What's your tap out?
I'm only pushing you because I don't have a tap out.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll get it.
Sure.
That's my tap out.
You're welcome.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna tap out to. I would. No, that probably won't come off right.
Oh.
I was gonna think of because I never said how I would die. I'd ride a Scud missile right into,
strap you to a missile and
strap
just
into a missile.
launch you into somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, yeah, especially if there's like a meteor coming. Even if it's not even going to be like that big of a deal, just shoot me at it. That'd be cool. Grind it out, baby.
Go see the Titanic.
And he comes back a superhero. That's how the superhero movie
Hey
starts.
guys, guess what?
Yeah, look, guys, look, we got to shoot him at we got to shoot him at this meteor.
Yeah, turns out we can't kill this guy.
And all of a sudden, he just comes like flying back down out of space.
Would you believe this? I didn't even die.
I didn't die. Look at that, guys. Hey, all right. We love you guys.
Epstein's a